the blokes in the audience, you might recognise as a drive past now the original Scorpion tank. That was the Action Man tank.
85mm gun on it rather than the 34-60.
Now, as they designed the vehicle, they were looking at the fact that the ship got some very novel together, flat front. They designed the tank. Whole massive cast armour turret there, and it was really the last American generation of tanks that just had steel as armour protection. And again, it was another one that was sold on around the world, and also for American forces as well. This is the one that sort of last service with the US Marines, and the US Army passes down tanks to the US Marines, so they just run over. And the Marines still had some in service during the first World War. Replaced the service by the American Navy after that, especially early that tank. But they helped factor it. Not fightable anymore. All the plates being taken out the front of it. And off of Cape Guard cliffs to be sent out to Korea. And they started a program very quickly getting some new tanks going, the M47, then the M48. This was a much more better thought through tank, the M60. This particular one, yet again, got that British gun on, that L718 British gun. This one you'll see, it's got the mic, it's got actually. It's got a huge brake gun now. And that is what they do here. Ukrainian military. They really needed some sort of field protection that could keep up with the tanks and go around the place. Gepards were taken out of service by Gepards with that. Keep firepower. So they put the British 105mm gun on, this L7 gun, best gun in the world at the time. They got a much integrated diesel engine, which worries too much about armour protection. First of all, when the army was formed, it was given mainly American equipment, and it started commissioning bits and kits from around the place, but it just started its own tank program, and it wanted to align with the French ended up got onto this project halfway. The French made the AMX-30, and this is what the Germans made, the Leopard 1 Centurion. Basically all NATO tanks. There was a point taking service where they tanked and rubber back off and everything rip up the road. The rest of the track was basically We can get a driver lower down into the guns to be lower, or tanks to be lower. The enemy. So the rifle gun on, that when it's firing, because it's designed to fire basically at Soviet era tanks, it would fire a metal dart. A long, thin metal rod would be fired in a cylinder at the enemy tank. The cylinder falls away, bag of explosives has blown it out the end of the barrel, spins that dart so it's accurate in flight. This one looks like a dart. You throw the dartboard from the point of view, it's got little wings on the back, big, it's called a big round, and by the sheer kinetic energy, in other words, no explosive on it at all, just the weight behind the force of that the metal coming out the end will smash its way through an enemy tank. And this is a very one round on the target, the third round, 16 making away the spider and the main very thick armour on the front. There's 16 inches of steel you've got there just for the gun comes down. It was a vehicle that could float across rivers, just if it inflated enough water so it's actually buoyant enough. Track turned round, that would just move forward. Couldn't go on the open sea or something, but part of that, how do I get across? And again, combat engineers, always vital in wartime, especially again, we talked before about urban operations, clearing roads so that tanks can maneuver through them. So there's no point in wait on. Started going into service 1962, they did a variant there with a self-propelled gun on, a 155 gun. And they used it because basically, again, reliable engine, reliable track system, and this is the recovery variant. So you've got a crane there on that little cab on the right front. Driver's in the front of the hull, you can see him with his head out. And it was basically used mechanised infantry, artillery units, and 360 and about a 30,000 litre capacity to put out engines, etc. Wide enough to go down the Malayan jungle rubber plantations, because again, when the first orders went in the 1950s for the design of the vehicle, it was end of empire, and we were retreating from all or handing back our empire around the world, but we still had military commitments. So this was a vehicle, two of which could fit in a C-130 aircraft to be transported hopefully quickly around the world should there be trouble that we needed to be supporting with our army. Now they followed up with a series of other vehicles with that same engine, same hull, but ours is very quickly comes up with a whole range of vehicles that will fit down the side where the driver sits. As the vehicles go round, you'll see the drivers in the front, and next to it, going down one side, that Jaguar engine would fit down the side there. Put a turret on the top. The original family member was called the Scorpion, something that we call Combat Vehicle Reconnaissance Track. And they also come back with one that's called Combat Vehicle Reconnaissance Wheel. And that leads to the Fox armoured car, which is a wheeled one, we'll see that at some point. But we come up with a vehicle called the Scorpion. And we've got a Scorpion just entering the arena now. We've got three different variants from that CVI.
gun at the beginning of the war. Now the T-34, famous tank obviously throughout the Second World War, probably about 70,000 of them made, enormous numbers. Continued being made as this version, the one you're looking at now after World War II, a number of satellite Warsaw Pact countries, Poland, Czechoslovakia still made them after the war. Designed originally in 1938. Without even a seat for the driver. If you want a seat, you fold up your greatcoat and you sit on that. So they simplify the design. Really welded together. There's watertight versions of them. Where it looked like someone just used a hacksaw to cut the side of the armour on it. Very, very simple, very crude, but it meant they could make them in quantity. And basically, the end, you've got a design there, and if they make enough of them, they will swamp the enemy. And the Russians, look at that tank, I give you the hand. Right there, see? Another picture is following up. So it's the most rocky tank in World War II, as well as being probably one of the most successful in terms of numbers. 50 caliber machine gun put on the top like many American vehicles at the time. Half-inch size bullet will go through an engine block quite happily that way, so quite a powerful bit of kit there. Now the next vehicle going past the crowd line at the moment, this is something called the M36 Jackson. American idea. Vehicles that are going to be the ones to exploit gaps in the enemy front line. Should you are nearly attacked with a tank, you use tank destroyers to try and knock them out. So first of all, there is half punch to get the tank out of the set. Punch the destroyer, might try to break through, try and knock out the enemy tank halfway. So let's start with the series of being used as mobile anti-tank guns in a very different way than what was planned. Now another famous Second World War design vehicle, this is the T-34, this model later with a Soviet T-54 diesel engine in the back, so if you're being really nerdy it doesn't sound right compared to a normal tank destroyers. Open top turret, so the guys have got good visibility, relatively thin armour. We think it looked like the tank. It was really designed for something very different. Instead, they tried to make it lighter, faster, to where a breakthrough was. Of course, the problem was you never had the right type of vehicle at the right place at the right time. So the whole idea of the tank destroyer command that the Americans had put together didn't really work. This one had a good position as well. Different than the Far East where they saw service towards the end of the war. Some went to Australia that didn't actually see action there. So very important tank from our point of view, helped save our bacon early in the war and gave us firepower and reliability. Now another American Second World War vehicle driving around, this is the M24 Chaffee. Some of you may remember it from the war movies, things like Bridget Ray Morgan, etc. Saw action end of 1944, seen some action in the back of the Bulge. It's a replacement for an earlier American light tank, the M3 Stewart tank. That tank has got the 37mm gun, which you see on the top of the turret on the graph. Quickly realised that it didn't have enough armour penetration to get through the thicker armour that was appearing on German tanks. So they ended up looking in 1942, a request goes out, we need a better armoured light tank with more firepower. So there goes the Grant past us now. They put the 75mm gun in the hull. They're copying the French there with the Charbon tank. They're copying Britain with the Churchill tank with its howitzer in the hull. A smaller 37mm gun in the turret, and they only make 6,000 which sounds a lot, but it's that interim model. Britain paid for the first big American tank factory. We run out of money just as Roosevelt gets the Lend-Lease asset, so then we're basically buying off the Americans. We get it at a cheaper rate, and we're going to keep coming on now. This is the M3 Grant tank. This is a tank that in essence Britain paid for in World War II.